Hi, sweeties. How are you doing? Welcome to Semnaya. Hope you are good. Seeing video of these people calling Kamala Harris KKK. And I am asking, why is she being called that? Let me tell you something. You and I know so far that this woman is not the one in charge of the government or anything at this point in time. She is a private citizen. And you guys went to her book tour to protest her and calling her G-Sider supporter and all that. Now, let me tell you something. Some of these pro-Palestinians has actually missed it. They have actually missed it. They are not being sensible and thinking right. One thing I know for sure is that they do not like black people. You can also see it from their movement and from the things that they do. But one thing I'm going to tell you is that it's rare. I have never seen black people telling their children not to like people, but they might tell you to be careful, but they will never preach hate, but they do it to black people. You know, at some point they started calling black people G-siders. There is nothing they did not call black people. Why? Because black people pulled out at some point because they need to take care of their own country. It was almost election period. And they decided to go and campaign because it was just only two persons. And now I am sure everybody's enjoying how the government is operating. Let's get into this video.
Good morning. So I believe I woke up and I've seen a video. Well, I didn't believe I woke up. I woke up and I've seen a video for a woman that I believe to be Palestinian. And she decided to get on here and call Kamala Harris the KKK Kamala. And this is what I mean when I say people don't give a shit about the pro-Palestinian movement, and honestly, they're justified in for doing so. And for the black people that continue to think that this is something that has to be very important within our communities and how our struggles are aligned, honestly, y'all on some bullshit time. And when you get tired of being sick and tired, come and holler at the rest of us. Because the level of anti-blackness and disrespect that you have to have deeply embedded in your heart to glaze over the history of slavery and to glaze over the history of Jim Crow and the terrorization that black community face and continue to face in this country while sitting in this country right now, and erasing the face of a T group that has actively brutalized, assaulted, unalived, and all type tortured black people and put the face of them suddenly as another black woman is outlandish. But I'm not surprised, because the pro-Palestinian movement stopped being about the Palestine people a long time ago. The pro-Palestinian movement, I guess you can say, is like another covert community at this point, organization that gets to display their anti-blackness. We're not getting checked for it because they're a minority group of people, or they're advocating for a minority group of people that's going through something. And let me explain something to you. I'm at a point where I am past being politically correct in a country full of a bunch of different groups of people that support and uphold the policies of discrimination, racism, disrespect, and brutalization against my people. I'm over it. We have to stop with this, when black people are getting tired of being sick and tired, that there's being divisive, when in reality, the division has always existed. Black people did not come to this country voluntarily and all of a sudden isolate themselves and sit there and not experience anything and sit there and say, fuck the world, whatever the case may be. Black people historically were brought into this country, built this country, made it possible for people to get into this country and try to work with the people in this country and consistently preach the ideas of unity, because the problem and the powers in be don't like you or me. And this country, the people that are in this country by far continue to say, if I want to be an American, I have to despise you. Anti-blackness is a global situation. And it is a huge misconception constantly that if you are a POC person or a minority group of people, that you have no capability of being racist, that you have no capability of being an oppressor because you suffer from oppression. That is bullshit. And that is because every group of people has in some type of more privilege, have some level of privilege above black people. That's why it's bullshit. The Arab Muslim community don't give a fuck about no fucking body. They don't give a fuck about any other type of fucking Muslim person. Do you see them advocating for the Muslim community in Sudan? Do you see them advocating for the black Muslim community out here in America? No. They care about themselves. And then and suddenly how we forget how the Arab people have historically played a very important hand in the transatlantic slave trade. And you thought suddenly now that all of this history is just washed away and y'all could find peace and harmony and community because maybe one or two people in different communities came out and knew better. And that's the weird shit about y'all. Y'all be the first ones to run to the front of the line. Y'all be the first ones to run to the front of the line to be the arbiter of morality, the social justice warrior, the advocate for all marginalized people, and all marginalized people stand behind you and use you as the shield, the bullet guard or shield or bag to get their point across, to get their privileges and liberties against you. To get more of the piece of a pie than you. To be considered different than you. And y'all sit there. And we'll sit there and try to wring the necks of other black people that say, baby, I'm tired. I am no longer going to consistently perform for a group of people that don't like me, collectively. Now, does this mean that if I meet an individual person, as a POC individual person, that I inherently hate them? No. But that means I don't trust you as far as I can fucking throw you because I knew what you were raised upon. I know what y'all believe collectively. You may be different. Let's see. Prove it to me. I don't have to prove shit to you. Because the black community doesn't raise their children in any anti-ness of anybody. We won't even raise our children to be anti-Caucasian. We just tell them to be wary because these motherfuckers are some shifty motherfuckers. And know your history so that you can advocate for yourself and defend yourself properly. That's what we do. We don't give a shit about nobody else after that. We're done. No more conversation. But y'all keep letting this shit go. Y'all keep letting this shit pass. Okay. As long as you continue to tell them that they don't have to deal with their own shit. They don't have to suffer on their own the way that black people suffer on their own. They don't have to deal with their own karmas. They're going to continue to believe that they don't have to. They're going to continue to feel justified in being anti-black, but still requiring you to get out in the field with them. And all of this doesn't mean that I accept anything that's happening to the Palestinian people in Gaza. Breaks my heart. Because I actually believe in humanity. Especially harming of fucking children is completely wrong. But there are people out here sitting in the comfortability of America. And their nice backyards and homes. Making their money sitting behind their $1,000 phones. With all their makeup and hair done. Being racist. And believing they have a right to be racist. And can dictate to you that I don't give a fuck about the atrocities in America. Because you better speak for my people back home. Even though I ain't doing shit for them either. Okay.
Voting to not have a racist convicted felon and serial SAer in the Oval Office is not kissing up to the Dems or refusing to hold your public officials accountable. And I don't think anyone on the left argues against the idea that Kamala Harris should have had a stronger pro-Palestinian stand. However, calling her KKK Kamala and saying that anyone who voted for her is a genocide supporter is not political activism. It is a reflection of your misogynoir. I have never once said that you should not demand things of your public officials. But the election last year was not like a Romney versus Harris election. It wasn't like Republicans versus Dems. The only difference is the fiscal policy. Like, it was not that sort of election. America was given the easiest open book test and failed. And I've said it 1,000 times, your propensity to hold Kamala Harris to a standard that quite literally no other presidential candidate has ever been held to, a standard by which you won't even hold the current president to, is misogynoir. Throughout American history, Black women have always been and are currently held to standards that no one else is expected to be held to. I forget who I'm quoting this from, but when someone said she needs to be flawless while he gets to be lawless is precisely true. And doing things like calling Angela Davis a Fed, but revering Karl Marx and pedestalizing him to an impossible degree is exactly a reflection of that. It's like so much of it is so internalized and it's such a strong bias that people do not see it or they refuse to accept it. They're not understanding that even in their day-to-day life, they likely tend to hold Black women to a standard that no one else is expected to perform.
Harris doesn't want people interrupting her book tour, maybe her legacy shouldn't have been genocide. We made it a promise that every single perpetrator, every single person complicit in genocide, can you think of anything worse than genocide in the world? I cannot. Make sure that they know for the rest of their lives what they have done, how we will not forgive and we won't forget. And reminder, this genocide hasn't stopped. Why should she get 1 day of peace to sell her books and tell her story and her legacy as if this genocide isn't still continuing, ongoing, and Palestinians are at risk from being wiped off of the planet because of her policy? Genociders should not have not 1 second, not 1 minute, not 1 day of peace. May they be reminded every single day of their shitty legacy. May they not sleep at night. May it be very, very warm where they end up. If Kamala Harris doesn't want people interrupting her book tour, maybe her...
What you were saying is asinine. Pure asinine. Let's go down the rabbit hole, right? And let's start with Donald Trump. Has Donald Trump does anything to help the people in Gaza? Absolutely fucking not. You guys are protesting somebody without power. You're the same people that we are in this situation we are with Trump because of you. Because of the stupidity of the far freaking left in our party, who would rather focus on issues abroad instead of issues at home. If you do not see what is happening with our government, then you blinded to it. Or you agree with this dictatorship. You are the people who put Trump in power by not voting for Kamala because, Suicide Joe. Now, of course, there could have been stuff that Biden could have done. I don't know what. But we wouldn't be in this situation with Gaza right now, I bet you, if we had Kamala in power. Because Trump does anything that Bibi Netanyahu tells him to do. So please, save me the hypocrisy of your bullshit. Because right now, I'm gonna turn into a little bit of MAGA. Right now, it should be America first. Fuck the entire world. We have a president who is definitely a dictator, definitely going against our Constitution. And you guys, all you could do is cry like little babies. Get a fucking grip.
Got from this video, and I am going to say something. Now, let me tell you this. You see, pro-Palestinians, I do not understand where they are from, but whatever that is happening to them. If you've been following me, you will understand so well that our last 2 years, that is 2023, 2020, early 2024, I was very, very active trying to do what I am supposed to do. Why? Because Black people were in full support of them. Not until Black people said it is time for them to go and focus on the election that is about to come. Because America was getting ready for election, right? They said, okay, Now let's focus on what is going on in United States and know how we are going to tackle the problem. And mind you, there was only two candidates. That is this man and Kamala Harris, right? That was where the problem started. Palestinians said, what? How can black people support this woman? And black people were like, what do you mean? Before we could say Jack, they started using their platform to campaign against Kamala Harris. They called black people G-sider supporters. They said black people send their armies to them to analyze. Like, there was nothing that was not said. That was where and when I also stopped talking about Palestinians. I don't advocate for anybody. Rather, I also advocate for people that are in crisis, like Sudan, Haiti, and Congo, that are going through genocide. I also advocate for my own country. So to my greatest surprise, Kamala Harris is on tour. She was on book tour that got all their eyes is popping. So to my greatest surprise, some people also went to protest against her at her book tour. And was yelling so many things at her. And I am asking, this woman at this point is no longer the president. How come they are not protesting the man that is in the office? Why is she the one? How come they are protesting her? And some people say she is a KKK. The truth is that the people that black people support do not actually support them. The people that black people stand for do not actually stand for them. And to my greatest surprise, I see so many black people that are supporting all these Palestinians. But I have never already heard them talk about what is going on in Congo, what is going on in other black countries. Mind you, I do not have problem of them supporting Palestinians, but what I am kind of scared of is the fact that they are also standing against their own people that did not do anything to support pro-Palestinians. It's a little bit weird, but I will leave it at that. They all have rights to protest or to support whoever they have to support. It is their human right. I am not going there. But what I am asking is, why are you people protesting against this woman instead of this man? And I am also going to ask, I'm also going to tell you this. They know that if they protest against this man, they will repatriate them, because there is already a policy that is Antifa, that is anti-fascist. If you are against fascism, it means you are Antifa, and you will be arrested and be dealt with. So they know what they are doing. They are not going to the right people, but Kamala Harris is their problem. Let me tell you something. And some of them are also using that opportunity to be anti-black to people that look like me. Sincerely speaking, if there were people that went far and wide for Palestinians, were black people. And you guys were also the ones that made other people to know about what was going on, because at some point, Nigerians and other people started, even Europeans started talking about it. But black people were the ones that started the movement. So now the same black people that was at the forefront became the enemy, and you are actually their enemy if you do not know. One thing I know black people for is that black people will never teach their children to hate. No, they will never teach their children to hate somebody. But they might, like she said, they might tell you, you really do have to be careful about this, about that. But they will never teach you to hate. But they teach them how to. I will draw the curtain here. Bye for now.